Imagine a civilization sprawling across 1,000,000 square kilometers, a domain of meticulously planned cities with grid-like streets, advanced sanitation systems, and a population of 5 million souls. This was the Indus Valley Civilization, a Bronze Age behemoth that flourished over 4,000 years ago in the fertile plains of what is now Pakistan and northwest India. For 2 millennia, it thrived, a contemporary of ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia. Yet it was a silent empire. It left behind no grand palaces for kings, no temples for demanding gods, no colossal statues of rulers. Its people, the Harappans, vanished from the stage of history, their script undeciphered, their voices muted. What catastrophic force could erase such a sophisticated and widespread culture, leaving behind only ghost cities and an enigma that still haunts us? Prepare yourself for a journey back in time as we delve into the heart of this silent empire. The year is approximately 2500 BCE. In the cities of Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, life unfolds with a remarkable sense of order. Houses, built from uniform baked bricks, feature private bathrooms and drainage systems that connect to a city-wide sewer network, a feat of engineering unrivaled for thousands of years. The society appears remarkably egalitarian. The uniformity of housing and the scarcity of ostentatious wealth suggest a social structure not built on the glorification of individuals but on communal stability. Their economy was a marvel of integration, with trade networks stretching to Mesopotamia, evidenced by Harappan seals found in the ancient city of Ur. They were masters of craftsmanship, producing intricate beadwork, elegant pottery, and standardized weights and measures that speak to a highly regulated system of commerce. Yet, this intricate tapestry of urban life was woven without the apparent need for a coercive state. There are no definitive signs of a standing army, no fortifications built against massive invasion, no art depicting scenes of glorious conquest. It was an empire of merchants and artisans, a civilization seemingly built on peace and precision, a stark contrast to its more violent, glory-obsessed contemporaries. This very tranquility, this absence of the typical markers of ancient power, becomes a central part of its profound and unsettling mystery. The silence of their unread script is deafening, a constant reminder that we are observing a complex world through a keyhole, guessing at the beliefs, the politics, and the identity of a people who achieved so much before being swallowed by oblivion. The evidence points to a society that had mastered the art of living together, only to collectively face an end they could not record. The first tremors of dissolution were not felt in the clash of swords or the crumbling of walls, but in the subtle betrayal of the very environment that had nurtured the civilization to its zenith. For centuries, the Indus and its tributaries had been predictable, life-giving arteries of water and silt. But the Earth is a fickle beast. Geological surveys suggest a period of significant climatic shift around the 2nd millennium BCE. The monsoon patterns, the lifeblood of the subcontinent's agriculture, became erratic. Prolonged droughts would have scorched the vast fields of wheat and barley, shrinking the agricultural surplus that was the bedrock of their urban society. Rivers, once mighty, may have shifted their courses or dried up altogether, leaving cities landlocked and severing vital trade and communication routes. Imagine the scene: the Great Bath at Mohenjo-daro, once a center of ritual and community, now a cracked and empty basin under a relentless sun. The bustling marketplaces, once filled with goods from distant lands, growing quieter, the flow of commerce reduced to a trickle. This was not a sudden apocalypse, but a slow, grinding attrition. The standardized weights, once a symbol of unity and trust, began to vary from region to region, a sign of fragmenting authority. The meticulously planned cities started to show signs of decay. New construction became shoddy, encroaching on the once orderly streets. This was the slow unraveling of a complex system, a society strangling under the tightening grip of environmental change. The very foundations of their world were eroding beneath their feet, a creeping catastrophe that played out over generations. It was a crisis not of human design, but of cosmic indifference, a silent war waged against a people by the shifting whims of nature itself. The enemy was not an invading army with banners and trumpets. but the creeping desert, the empty riverbeds, and the cloudless sky. What follows is the final, desperate chapter of a civilization on its knees. The archaeological record of the late Harappan period paints a grim picture of societal breakdown. In the once pristine streets of Mohenjo-daro, there is evidence of overcrowding and a collapse in civic standards. Skeletons are found hastily buried in streets and houses, not in the neat, ordered cemeteries of their ancestors. Some of these remains bear the marks of violence, not from a single, organized battle, but the sporadic, brutal conflict of a society turning on itself in its death throes. This was the age of desperation, where the intricate social contract that had held for centuries was shredded by hunger and fear. The elegant script, the silent language of an entire people, disappears. The sophisticated seals, once markers of identity and trade, are replaced by simpler, cruder designs. The long-distance trade with Mesopotamia ceases entirely, cutting the civilization off from the wider world. It was an implosion, a hollowing out from within. Some scholars point to the arrival of Indo-Aryan migrants from the north, not as a conquering horde in a single epic invasion, but as groups moving into a power vacuum, encountering a civilization already in a state of terminal decline. The newcomers' gods of war and storm were alien to the seemingly peaceful sensibilities of the Harappans. The encounter was likely less a grand conquest and more the final, fatal blow to a body already riddled with disease. The great cities were abandoned, left to be consumed by the dust from which they were built. The people, the inheritors of 2 millennia of culture, scattered into smaller rural communities. Their urban identity, their shared knowledge, their very history, dissolving into the soil. The silence that follows is absolute. For over 3,000 years, the Indus Valley Civilization was not just dead, it was forgotten. Its cities lay buried under mounds of earth, its existence entirely erased from the memory of humanity. When British surveyors stumbled upon the ruins of Harappa in the 1800s, they found bricks being plundered to build a railway line, the remnants of a great civilization being used as ballast for the engine of a new empire. The rediscovery and excavation in the early 20th century was a staggering revelation. The unearthing of a history no one knew existed. But this discovery brought more questions than answers. Without a Rosetta Stone to unlock their script, the people remain voiceless. We do not know their names for their cities, their leaders, or their gods. The theories for their collapse are many, a morbid buffet of catastrophe. Was it the drying rivers and the fickle monsoons of climate change? Was it a pandemic that swept through the dense urban populations? Or was it the pressure from migrating peoples that pushed a fragile system past its breaking point? The truth is likely a grim cocktail of all three, a perfect storm of environmental disaster, social decay, and external pressure. The Silent Empire offers no easy answers. It stands as a chilling testament to the fact that a civilization can be complex, peaceful, and prosperous, and still be utterly and completely erased. Its story becoming a ghost story, a cautionary tale whispered from the dust. The legacy of the Indus Valley is not one of triumphant monuments or enduring texts, but one of profound and unsettling silence. It serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of civilization itself. We see in its ghost cities the reflection of our own vulnerabilities, the intricate systems we rely on, the delicate balance with our environment, and the terrifying speed with which it can all be undone. The Harappans were not primitive people. They were sophisticated urban planners, skilled engineers, and masters of global trade. Yet, they vanished. Their story is a counter-narrative to the histories of kings and wars that we are so accustomed to. It suggests that a society's greatness is not measured in the grandeur of its palaces or the ferocity of its armies, but in its ability to sustain a peaceful, ordered existence for its people. And its fall teaches us that the most formidable enemies are often not other men, but the slow, inexorable forces of nature and the internal decay of social cohesion. The undeciphered script is perhaps the most powerful symbol of all. It represents a lost conversation, a history we can see but cannot hear. As we walk the ghostly grid of Mohenjo-daro's streets, we are confronted with the ultimate historical horror. Not the story of a brutal end, but the absence of a story altogether. The Indus Valley Civilization is a permanent question mark in the epic of humanity. A silent empire whose vanished world challenges our assumptions about progress, power, and permanence.